Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining this afternoon. It's Monday. I like teaching Monday on yoga. I like teaching yoga on Monday. I'm really into the swing of things. I get my words around the wrong way. I've already done a chair yoga class already today with an amazing charity in Leicester City Centre. And I've hot-footed it back here to do some chair yoga with you guys. So a wholehearted welcome. Thank you. I'm just going to make a little adjustment because my feet are just disappearing off here. Now, before we start, make sure you've got something like this, a nice chair, something with a back on it. If you use a wheelchair, your wheelchair is absolutely brilliant. You may want to use like a bolster. If you don't have something like this, then grab yourself a cushion or a pillow. Here's another type of bolster. So we've got these little things which we can use. I'm not sure if we will use them today, but have some comfort around you. And it's really crazy, isn't it, right? At the weekend, it felt like it was summer. And then today, I've underdressed and I've got shorts on and it's about 5 degrees again. So make sure you're warm enough, nice and warm. Make sure that, in this idea that in yoga that we want to calm the nervous system down, which is kind of going to be the focus of today's class. And if we do that, then we need to be at an optimum temperature, which is not too hot and not too cold. So that's what I would recommend. Get yourself a drink as well. I haven't even poured my tea yet. So I'm going to pour my tea, nice chai. Make sure you're hydrated and everything feels good for you. All right. So cheers. Thank you for joining. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in a seated position. Now, you can make this restful, and I mean seated as in we're going to stay like in this one position as we go through some meditation. So you can make it restful, which is probably, the chair, and you bring your back up against the chair and you bring the soles of the feet on the floor. Or you can make it a little bit more active where you sit in seated mountain pose, which is kind of here. Okay, so this is nice. It draws some length into the spine. It's a little bit more active. So I'll let you sit however you want to sit, okay? Make sure your feet, however you're sat, are grounded down into the earth and have your feet so they're kind of lined up with your ankles. So if you can kind of bring your feet like this, slight internal rotation, and you might have a little wriggle around. I'm going to stay with my spine nice and long, so I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to make this sort of semi-active. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of grounding. We're going to stay quiet for a moment. Then we'll do some breath work. And then let's just see how we get on with some of the movements today. One of the things which I really want to get across in this is that even though the poses we do, they can be really rewarding. And I think there's a lot in the actual asanas, the poses which we do in seated yoga and yoga in general, because there isn't any difference really, apart from you just have a sit like a chair. But I think that one of the main benefits, some of the feedback that I get constantly, is that how calm people can feel afterwards. We get into the breath, we calm the nervous system down, we quiet the mind. And then, if we're feeling tension in the body, right? If we're feeling like things are stuck and we feel pain, sometimes it's our relationship to that pain. It's not to kind of like diminish the pain in any way, but our relationship to it is really important. And that's not to say that, if you just change your mindset, then you're not going to be in pain. I don't mean that at all, right? Pain is real and it's there for a reason. And it can be really stressful, and it can dominate our days. But sometimes when we get into the breath and we find our relationship to the pain changes. So that's what we'll look at a little bit today. All right. So find your comfortable seat. Bring your hands where they ever feel wonderful. So they can be palms face down. I'm probably just going to have my palms face up. I'm going to root my feet down into the floor. I'm going to close my eyes. And then from here, what I'd like you to do is just scan your body, maybe from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. So on an inhale, you might raise the awareness all the way up. And on an exhale, you bring the awareness all the way down. So just kind of find a yogic breath. If you can, in through the nose, out through the nose. And then what we'll do is we'll just sit in silence for a little bit of time. And from here, maybe take another 2 or 3 rounds of breath. And when you're ready, if you had your eyes closed, just very gently, slowly, come with your eyes open. Nice. And give your fingers a little wriggle out. And any movements that feel good, you might kind of lift your feet up a little. You might hold onto the sides of your chair, have a little move around. And maybe reflect on that quiet time, just less than 2 minutes, but sometimes very rewarding, right? When we get into our breath, the breath is our practice in yoga. It's everything. Everyone thinks, oh, it's about being flexible. It's about being strong. It's about being this. It's about being that. The breath is key to everything. So when we sit and we pay attention to the breath, we're practicing, true yoga. This is the essence of the practice, and it's really exciting. Okay, so if you're leaning with your back against the chair, then come a little bit further forward and reground your feet. So we keep thinking about this posture, seated mountain pose. Spine is nice and long, shoulders are relaxed. Hands, maybe this time, just the palms face down. And then just begin to move a little bit through your shoulders. So bring one shoulder up, exhale it down. On an inhale, bring the other shoulder up, exhale it down. And just these little movements. And if everything feels okay, you maybe bring both shoulders up. Maybe begin to round the shoulders out. Maybe come forwards a few times. Nice, beautiful. And then from here, just inhale, sweep the arms all the way up if you can. So remember this technique, the palms down, they get here, we flip the palms up, bring the hands together. On an exhale, the palms are still up, they get to the shoulders, we flip them down and they come down. Just helps us raise the hands up in a nice, safe way. Inhaling up, flip the palms at the shoulders, exhale. Inhale, and then exhale, flip the palms down and bring the hands down. Just 3 more like that. Final one. Beautiful. And bring the hands down. Nice. Next time, inhale the arms all the way back up. And then clasp the hands if you can, and then just push your palms up towards the ceiling. And then root down through your feet and just have a little move side to side. Whatever this movement is for you, you're lengthening from your hips. You're relaxing your shoulders as much as you can, and then you just bring in a little bit of movement in. What you can do, you can push the palms forward and maybe round the spine a little bit. So you look down towards your navel, you tuck your navel towards the spine. Inhale to come up, and then exhale to round. So like a seated cat-cow. Inhale to come up, and exhale to round. One more time, inhale to come up, and then exhale, bring the hands down. Flip the palms down when they get to the shoulders and then bring them down. Nice. And then just have a little move. So for me, there's a good amount of work going on there, right? I can feel it in my shoulders. There's an activation. There's a lengthening through the torso, building really good bone density here. So we're building all of that strength and movement. And it's probably a way that you're moving, which is quite new to you, right? You might probably haven't moved like that for a long time. So to be very gentle with your movements. Don't ever push through any pain. Reasonable effort's good, pain never, okay? Root back down through your feet. Bring your hands onto the side of the chair. Re-lengthen your spine. Nice. All right. So we're going to do that knee to nose pose. So we've got 3 options. The right leg's going to be the one we lift, first of all. The left foot is just going to be rooted down on the floor. So option number 1, just lift up through the heel. So you can see I'm just coming up onto my right toes. Now, it's a nice calf stretch actually already. I'm not kind of leaning forward. I'm not leaning back. I'm sitting nice and tall and my torso is lined above my hip. So alignment is a good thing. You can always bring the hands onto the hips and you can do it this way. So here's option 1. This might be perfect for you. If not, you can bring the foot up. So this is going to require a little bit of hip strength, a little bit of hip flexibility. Feel free to move around a little bit. Sometimes I come into a pose and I want to kind of wriggle a shape into it. So I'll kind of just work out what's going on and maybe just move the leg a little. So option 2 can be here, okay? Option 3, around the back of the leg, or you can make a basket grip. There's my knee cracking. And then you can just hug that knee in. So try and do it. Don't want the elbows to be here. Hug the elbows into the side of the body. Sit tall. And then you just pull in this right knee in. So this is the 3rd option, okay? So your choice where you go with it. Nice deep inhale. Full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Bring the foot all the way down. Nice. So remember, option 1, come back onto the toes. Option 2, lift the foot. Option 3, make a basket grip. So we're going to do the same thing with the right leg. We're going to twist a little bit here as well. So I'll give you options for the twist. So I'm going to come with the right knee hugged in. Go for that option 1 or option 2. This is option 3. And what I'm going to do is just going to hold the right knee with the left hand. So just in one hand. And then this right hand, I can bring it on the side of my chair. I can take an inhale. And then as I exhale, I just twist towards the right. Now what I could do, I could bring this right hand and I could bring it all the way behind me. So I kind of bring a little bit more of a twist in, but it's your choice. You know, you can be here, you can be here, or you can be here. Root down through the left foot. That's going to provide a little bit of a counter twist for you. So as you root down through the left foot, you find a little bit more twist. And we haven't really moved the head, but if it feels okay, without straining, you can look down towards the right fingers, or maybe just look to the side like this, and it's better for you. Take one more round of breath. Exhale, come back to center. Hug the knee in one final time, or if the foot's here, just lift a little higher, or you can just bring the foot all the way down. Bring the hands onto the knees. Separate the feet maybe a little wider, so lift the feet, root them back down. Think about your navel, hands or palms down, just draw some circles. So you're kind of thinking about your navel and you're rotating your torso around your hips. Just bring this little movement in. Maybe close the eyes. See how this feels. So you feel it in your belly, you feel it in your lower spine. Inhale forward. Maybe exhale as you round. Stay nice and relaxed through your jaw. Come back the other way. So you're not kind of like sinking down too much. As you come forward, the spine elongates. As you come back, you sink a little. Lovely work, everyone. Really nice. Inhale, come back to center. And then take a full exhale. Nice. Root down through the right foot. We'll do all of that on the other side. Option 1, hands on the hips maybe, or the sides of the chair. Come on onto the left toes, lift the left heel. Perfect, right? Feels good. For me, I'm feeling something in my left hip, and I'm feeling a nice stretch through my left calf. Second option, you can lift the leg. So left leg lifted. See, I've sat back a little bit, so I'm going to rotate my pelvis forward so my shoulders and my hips are nicely stacked. Or option 3, make a basket grip. Hug the knee in without too much effort. Remember, the elbows hugged in by the side of the body. Root down through the right foot as you hug the left knee in. Okay, so you'll know where to go here because I've already done it on one side. You can twist. You can just hold the left knee with the right hand. You can bring the left hand behind. Inhale to find length. The foot can be on the floor, or you can still have the knee lifted. And then exhale into this little twist. If you want, left arm can go behind you, and then you twist a little further. Root down through the right foot, all 4 corners of this foot. And then as you inhale, root down. As you exhale, maybe you twist a little more. Gaze to the side, or you can always look down the back arm. Keep the breath flowing. Nice, deep, rich inhales. Full, releasing exhales. Nice. Inhale, come back to center. Wherever you found yourself, we'll all meet in the same spot. Bring the left foot down. Bring the palms face up. Come back to seated mountain pose. So the back is away from the chair. The feet are rooted down into the floor. And this is an active pose, right? You're not kind of just letting it all go. You're drawing length in your spine. Your head balances perfectly on top of your neck. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And then if you had your eyes closed, very slowly, come with the eyes open, give the fingers a little wriggle, grab yourself a drink if you need a drink or you want a drink. You can always kind of lift the sit bones up a little, you can root the feet back down. And then we're going to do something we did last week. So you've got to make sure that you've got enough wingspan here, so you're not kind of knocking into anything. I'm quite close to these shelves, so I'm just making sure that I'm not going to knock into those shelves. So you're going to need this kind of thing. So what we're going to do is just going to swing the body open. So right hand on the heart. And if you can't get your arms really wide, you just might kind of twist from side to side. You can use your arms, go for it. Right? We're all different. So you just kind of work out what you can do. Right hand on the heart. Inhale, left arm over to the left. If you join me in that twist, you've already been in this position. As you exhale, swap the hands. So left hand's on the heart and the right hand comes behind. So we're just going to move like that. Inhale left and then exhale right. Think about your navel. Reach down through your feet. Inhale left, exhale right. So the feet and the legs stay really static and the movement comes from your torso. You kind of use the arms as like a counterweight. You're inhaling left, you're exhaling right. Inhale left, exhale right. And if you wanted to speed it up, feel free to speed it up. You might do, you might not, it doesn't matter. The movement's more important than any speed. It doesn't have to be vigorous, it can be really calming and relaxing. You can hear I'm using my breath with a little bit more intention. So my breath is a little bit more powerful. Maybe 4 more either side. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, bring the palms back out. Palms are face up. Have a little wriggle. Bring the feet underneath the knees. And then just let all of that settle. Maybe close the eyes. And now when I drop in and I find that stillness, then I can feel that little bit of energy that I've created. Now in these moments of stillness, I can just pay attention and maybe be curious about what I'm creating here. Beautiful. All right, let's come back to locust pose, which we did last week. So it's nice to kind of, what I'll do is I'll pick a pose every week and then we'll come back to it. We'll probably do it next week, and then we'll probably do it the week after, but at least 2 times so we can keep coming back to it. And then hopefully what happens is you build your own practice. So locust pose, remember it's a back bend. You're kind of getting into the shoulders, getting into the mid and the upper back. So this is what the full pose looks like. I say the full pose, option 3. So you kind of, I need to sit forward a little bit. So you sit right on the edge of your chair. Don't do this yet because I want to build it. Come onto the tops of your feet and then locust pose is here. So you can hold it a little higher on the chair. That's what you want to be careful of, right? So I kind of hold a little bit lower because I don't want to tip my chair forward. So don't do that yet. Let's build this together. And what I would say is make sure your chair is sturdy enough where you do not tip forward, okay? Be very, very cautious with this one because you just saw my chair have a little wobble, okay? So the first option, you bring the hands onto the side of your chair, have a little wriggle for your feet, take an inhale to lengthen, root the feet down into the floor, and then as you exhale, remember this movement where we just rotate the pelvis forward, but the spine is staying long, okay? So I'm not doing this and rounding, so I'll show you from the side. This will be a good view. So you kind of come onto the edge of your feet, edge of the seat, and then you root down, lengthen the arms, and you see my spine is staying relatively long here. And I'm finding a lot of kind of like groundedness through my feet, and then I'm just beginning to rotate forward. So I can feel this, so I feel it here, mid-back, I feel it in between my shoulders. If I grab a little higher on my chair, I'll feel it a little bit more in my upper back and right in between my shoulder blades. Try and keep your head as an extension of your spine. So don't do this. Try and keep your head nice and long, or the spine nice and long, back of the neck's long. And you kind of pull in a little bit here. Root down, breathe deeply, and you might just close the eyes and take a couple of breaths. So if you wanted to move on, your second option could be here. Come right up onto the toes. Maybe walk the feet a little behind so they're kind of stacked a little bit more underneath your chair. Remember, you can come back here, you can be here, or you can be here. Final option, remember this one. Be nice and gentle. I'm going to come back and then I'm going to come forward, but I'm not going to root down too much through my arms being too high. So I'm going to hold quite low because that's going to give me some gravity and it's going to find a little bit of balance. So this is a nice stretch. Okay, tops of the feet, you'll feel a nice stretch through the tops of the feet. Breathe it out. Be very safe here. Take one more round of breath. And then very slowly, if you join me, come all the way back. Root the feet down. Bring the palms so they're face up. And just let that one go. So that's locust pose. We generally do it in mat yoga. We'll do it lying on our fronts. We bring the hands behind the back. We make a fist. And then we lift the chest. So it's that kind of like this activation through the mid and the upper back. All right, I'm going to come back to face you guys. Okay, let's do this one. A little bit of gatefold pose. So what you probably want to do, you don't want to be in the center of your chair. You probably want to be right on the edge of your chair. Make sure you're comfortable. And if you need to kind of pad out a little bit, that's fine. So the left leg is a bit wider. You've kind of got this, like the legs are wider. You've got this kind of triangle shape going on. So the right foot is right in the middle of your chair. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lengthen out through, and you can use the chair, right? So remember, this is really stable. So you're going to lengthen out through this left leg, okay? And it's just disappearing. I'm going to make a little adjustment here. Here we go. Beautiful. So you can see this left leg is long. Now, if that's too much, just walk it in. Or you can be here. So let's build it slowly. This is option one, okay? So the legs are a little wider. You're sat on the edge of the chair, and you've got this external rotation of this left leg. Right foot sits right in the middle of your chair. Okay, take an inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. So lengthen here, lengthen from the torso. Nice. Take one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, you can bring this left hand down and maybe fold over with this right arm. So you're going to feel a big stretch through the right side of the body. Nice deep inhales, full exhales. If it's too much with the hands, then you just got your hands on the hips and you're just rotating the torso over towards the left. So you've got these options here. This might be enough. Here, this is kind of like option 3, or here with the hands. And you just find in this movement. So you don't have to go even lift the arms if it feels too much or it's not something you're able to do. Take one more round of breath. Inhale, come back to center. Okay, so you can go back there, or you can shuffle a little bit more to the left. Lengthen this left foot out, left leg out. Okay, bring the left hand onto the left leg. Inhale, right arm up. And then as you exhale, just that little bend over towards that straight leg. So for me, it's a big stretch, right? In fact, my leg's cramping a little bit here. Nice deep inhale. And then a full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, come back to center. And then very slowly, if you have that leg long, bring it back in, realign yourself. And then you're just going to shuffle over to the other side. So again, go a little bit wider. So you're facing towards the right side. Left foot, you want your toes spun out a little bit here, right? So left foot stays in line with the middle of your chair. Nice work. All right. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Remember, too much for the arms. Just bring the hands just on the hips. I'm just going to shuffle forward a little bit. So it needs alignment, right? Torso steps right over the hips. Nice deep inhales, full exhales. Either here, and you bend over towards the right. So this is a nice side bend, or here with the hands on the hips. And again, little side bend to the right. Now you feel this stretch down the left side of the body. Nice deep inhales, full exhales. Stay where you are, keep breathing, or you can shuffle a little bit more over towards the right. Lengthen out through this right leg. So the right leg's nice and long. Inhale, both arms up. Bring the right hand down, so it's just on that nice long right leg. Inhale to find length, and then exhale into this side bend. Root down through the left foot. Doesn't have to be big, right? I just want to feel something here down the left side of the body. Either here or here, your choice. Or even here, you know, there's lots of options here, as long as you're feeling a nice stretch down the left side. One more deep inhale, and then a full exhale. If the hands are lifted like mine, bring them down, bring them onto the hips. Bring that right leg back to meet the left. Root down through your feet. And then just readjust. And then palms are face up. Maybe close the eyes. And then again, this is the opportunity we just get to check in with our practice. One more round of breath. And then if your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. And then the final few minutes of the class, we're going to be in rest pose or shavasana. So this is where pillows, blankets, a bolster might come in handy. You can let everything go in this pose. So what I like to do is I like to lean back into my chair. If you need any additional support, go for it. Maybe under the lower back. And then I'm just going to let my feet fall open. And then I'm going to let my palms face up. Maybe close the eyes. And see if you can just notice the effects of your practice here. Just watch the flow of your breath. And if you can, inhale through the nose. Exhale through your nose. Just let your thoughts come, let your thoughts go. Try not to attach onto anything in particular. And we did this right at the start of the class, maybe an opportunity just to scan your body. Maybe check in with any changes. You know, all the amazing work that you've done this afternoon together. That's all been done by you. No one else did it. You were curious enough to get in your chair and practice some yoga together. The idea here is that, you know, we're calming the fluctuations of the mind, the idea that we're trying to get out of our heads into our bodies. And a beautiful way to do that is some gentle movement and just some awareness on our breath. Maybe think about the area around your navel and then draw a line up to your heart space. Kind of that area of the hollow of your throat and then right up to the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, bring that awareness all the way back down. Think of it as like a flowing energy, like a light, like a life force. And know that this calmness resides in all of us, you know, beyond the mind wanting to take over, the busyness of our lives, all of the control, catastrophizing. Know that if we spend a little bit of time to ourselves, when we practice some yoga, then we can find these little moments that hopefully offer us a little bit of respite, a little bit of space and clarity. We feel renewed and we can come back refreshed. Maybe take 2 or 3 more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, you can just begin to move. If you had your feet on a bolster or some cushions or a blanket, bring your soles of the feet so they're now rooted back down into whatever's supporting them out. And then maybe come back to that mountain pose, seated mountain. I'm going to keep my feet on a bolster. When you're ready, bring your hands to your heart. And we'll do this really simply today with a wholehearted bow. Wish yourself well. Wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for joining today. Nice to have you along.